Now have told India Today that three suitcases of documents worth hundreds of crores of rupees were taken away after the murder of the guard at Jaya's Kodanad estate in Ooty. Police have revealed to India Today that the murder of Om Bahadur on the intervening nights of 23rd and 24th of this month could have been an inside job. The police suspect that a person who had done the interior design work on the prized Kodanad estate could be behind this attack. Here's the entire report.
Three more arrests on Saturday brought the police a step closer to what they would soon discover a shocking truth. Sources revealed the looters, in all likelihood aided by an insider, looted papers of properties worth several hundred crores stashed in three suitcases. Sources added that the plotter was involved in designing Jaya's prime asset and was close to Amma and Sashikala.
All right, I want to connect to our deputy editor Priyambada, who's been tracking the story very closely. We also have our consulting editor T.S. Sudhir joining us. Live is also Dr. Sumant C. Raman, political analyst who's going to give us exactly what this could mean politically. Sanjay K. Chadha, lawyer, Supreme Court. What does it mean that these papers go missing? Can they be misused? He's going to throw some light on that. Coming to you, Priyambada, first. You know, the mystery is just getting murkier. Just look at this. 2 deaths, different parts of the country, all of it coming together. Let's jog our memories back. The guard being killed at that attempted robbery at the Ooty estate of Jayalalitha.
Well, absolutely. This is just getting murkier, and just breaking news that we are getting a while back. Kerala police has given a reaction in which they have said that they are looking into the murder angle as well of Sayan. Remember, Sayan, a close associate of Kanakaraj, one of the prime suspects in this robbery, and it was police said that the Sayan was also involved in this, and he and his family.
All right, Priyambada, I'm afraid, I'm going to come in. I'm coming in, and the reason why is because we're having a problem with your audio line. We're going to try and re-establish that connection and come right back to you. Let me just cut across for, in the meanwhile, to our consulting editor, T.S. Sudhir. He's also joining us live. T.S., that's what Priyambada and I were talking about, that the mystery just keeps getting murkier right now.
Absolutely. The mystery is getting murky because of the 2 murders which have happened, and obviously no one really knows what the actual motive could possibly have been. But what is interesting is what is the nature of these documents that is alleged to have been taken away or stolen from the Kodanad estate. Is it in any way linked to the disproportionate assets case, or is it linked to the various documents that may have been kept with Jayalalitha and perhaps with V.K. Shashikala while they were there? Remember, Kodanad was always used as some kind of a summer residence whenever Chennai got very hot, and Jayalalitha as chief minister would mostly operate there. The bureaucrats would be there to actually run the administration from the Kodanad estate. And I was interestingly also looking at the 2016 election affidavit which was filed by Jayalalitha. Now, in that, the immovable assets is worth 72.10 crore rupees. And interestingly, Preeti, the Kodanad estate does not figure in the list of immovable assets that Jayalalitha has listed in the 2016 May election affidavit, which means that perhaps it had already been passed on to someone. We do not know. So all those documents will really need to be looked at. The other point is that it was only in 96 when the disproportionate assets case was filed, when an entire some kind of a survey was done of her properties there. In the last 21 years, that no other kind of survey has been done as to what Jayalalitha holds, except by way of knowing through her election affidavits, in which she has declared about 113 crore rupees total wealth, of which, as I said, 72 crore rupees is immovable assets. So what essentially we are looking at is some kind of a conspiracy theory, some kind of a doubt that there is something very fishy as to these too many things happening, and we really need to connect the dots. The police will really need to connect the dots as to what really is happening at the Kodanad estate.
With whatever's going on, TS is bound to have political ramifications as well. Let's bring in Dr. Sumant C. Raman there. Mr. Raman, with the current scenario, the various murky developments going on, clubbed with at least a public absence of a will. We know that Jayalalitha did not have a will. All of that is going to, somewhere down the line, politically impact.
Look, the police also have a huge problem here. I mean, if you know the Kodanad estate, the Kodanad estate is a massive place. I mean, it runs into hundreds of acres, and it's a beautiful scenic place, but it's huge. And for the police, somebody has got in and murdered this guard, and now the question is, nobody actually knows what is inside. So that's the first problem. I mean, it's not like, you know, here you have an owner who will come and say, look, all of this stuff is missing. Now, who is currently the occupant of the Kodanad estate? How much are they aware of the contents within the estate, within the building? Now, I mean, that's what makes it even more difficult for the police, because this is not a simple case where the owner of the house will come and say, look, these are missing and you need to find them. Now, the second obviously is establishing the motive. Third is, what about this, what happened to Kanagaraj?
Yes.
Now, is that an accident? Is that a murder? You know, what is the, you know, where is that investigation going to lead? So I think that, again, you know, how far the state police can go is itself a question mark here.
And delimiting
because,
at that.
I mean, what, you know, if it sort of starts to unearth more murky stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is where the state police also will not be willing to be very forthcoming with disclosing too much of information on this case. I'm sure.
And how much of a wall will they hit in this?
They're not going to get a huge amount of information about this particular case.
Well, you're right then. How much of a wall they'll hit in this, trying to get an information? They're bringing in Sanjay K. Chadha, lawyer, Supreme Court. Sanjay, the fact that what we do know, you know, in essence, is that 3 suitcases are missing. Now, those 3 suitcases contained lots of papers regarding crores of properties. Now, question is, if these papers are stolen, how can they be misused? Can they be misused in the first place?
Well, if these papers are stolen, and as prior to me somebody was saying that it can be a case where these papers are to be used by somebody. First of all, we have to see that if at all these papers are, the properties are in the name of the owner, that is Jayalalitha, if these papers are in her name, then there are 2 very important and crucial things. When a person dies intestate without a will, then in that case the persons who are claiming to be the owner, they have to prove that there is no will and we are the one, and in that case the property passes through as per the statutory provisions. And in the other case, when there is a will, they will have to, these people have to prove that there is a will, and as per the will we are the owners. Now there is a third scenario which can be here, is that the property is in some X name. In that, these documents, the theft of these documents are once again pointing out that these documents are intentionally taken from that particular place. People who have taken them, they must be knowing about it. They must have the whereabout of it, that these papers are lying there. Now the actual owners, whosoever if it is not in the name of Jayalalitha ji, then in whosoever's name is these papers, they can use these papers, first of all. Secondly, as your question was as to what is the use, how these can be misused, the biggest threat is that these papers can be used for taking a loan. So a person can take a loan from a financial institution,
but you know, Sanjay, the very fact that this is public knowledge, you know, Sanjay, the very fact that this has come out in the public that there has been a robbery of these papers, if an FIR is in place, then at least if it's not, you know, predated, then nothing can be done post this.
Absolutely. That is why I'm saying that with connivance with the financial institutions, somebody can certainly do this. If there is a connivance from the financial institutions, they can lead, you know, a person can go, he can very well place these documents before any financial institution and say that I need this loan. And each and every loan cannot be correlated with this particular incident.
Right. So basically the property at hand could have been mortgaged. That you're saying is the biggest threat. All right. Let me cut across.
That is the biggest thing.
All right. Let me cut across to Priyambada. I believe our deputy editor is back with us right now. Priyambada, in essence, right now, if we look at it, that's what Sanjay was saying, that the biggest threat could be these papers could get misused. Now, this could just be the tip of the iceberg. There is no will. We don't know, what is going on, who is actually right now occupying the Ooty estate. What do you expect now? Who right now do you reckon could claim to be the rightful heir of Jayalalitha?
Well, technically speaking, if we are talking about blood relatives, it can only be two persons. One, Deepa Jayakumar, niece of Jayalalitha, and Deepak Jayakumar, nephew of J. Jayalalitha. But having said that, Deepa, at least for many, many years, has not been in touch with Jayalalitha, and suddenly she has emerged. But we still do not know whether all the documents or all the properties are in the name of Jayalalitha. Remember, she was a government servant. She was a chief minister. So technically, even if there are properties purchased, it cannot be everything in her name. It could either be jointly in Shashikala's name, or most importantly, the extended family of Shashikala could be enjoying the properties. For instance, Siradavur Bangla, that is there. It is in the name of Bhaskaran, one of the nephews of VK Shashikala, along with Shashikala, jointly again. So, and also the land opposite Poes Garden is in the name of two other relatives of TTV Dinakaran, that is Venkatesh and Shivakumar. So, it's going to be distributed, and there is a clamor within the family to get hold of the property.
That's why,
which we cannot overlook.
All right. Dr. Raman, do you want to come in on this? Because this seems, things are going to get really dirty from here on, it seems. Yes, come in, Dr. Raman.
Yeah, it will get clearly messy. See, we must remember one thing. There is no registered will. Now, that has been confirmed by the registration department. In response to an RTI, they have come back and said that there is no will which has been registered with the department. So, to that extent, we know that there is no registered will.
Okay.
But tomorrow, is there a will which has not been registered? How valid that would be? What kind of legal challenge would there be for that? All of that again remains open to speculation. We also know a certain basic set of properties which were attached as part of the disproportionate assets case.
Right.
Some of them were in individual names, some of them were in the name of companies where Ms. Jayalalitha and Mrs. Shashikala and others were directors in.
Yes.
So there are large estates and properties which are in names of various companies. Now what happens to them? So I think it is not going to be simple, it is going to be very messy. And you must remember also that Deepak Jayakumar and Deepa Jayakumar have not formally, though they have announced on TV that they are going to lay claim to the property, they have not formally filed any kind of legal affidavits to the best of our knowledge for claiming the property, which again is very puzzling because if they are the legal heirs, why are they not doing that?
All right, one quick question. T.S. Sudhir, if you're with us, yes. We're going to wrap up there, but T.S. Sudhir, with the way you've seen things unfold in the last couple of months, especially following Jayalalitha's death, what do you reckon is going to happen from here on where the clamour for her wealth is concerned?
Well, of course, on the face of it, does look like it's a clamor for her wealth, given that the theft has taken place at the Kodanad estate where she used to stay during the summer months. But I still wouldn't rule out the possibility that these documents could be of properties not related to Kodanad estate at all. It could be various other properties which could have been held in the names of various other people linked to Shashikala, not linked to Shashikala, perhaps linked to different AIDMK leaders. So given the manner in which there are various conspiracy theories and the manner in which the entire AIDMK story has been unfolding since December, do not rule out anything.
All right, we'll keep coming back to all of you. Appreciate you joining us. Dr. Sumant Raman, Sanjay K. Chadha, T.S. Sudhir and Priyambada will be back with the story. Thank you.